Well, thank you very much, everyone. Fabien, Rodolphe, Daniel, to be with us today to exchange on a very critical topic, which is trust in AI. So we have 20 minutes to hear you, to talk about your experience, your vision in your companies, and how you want to address such a topic. To start the discussion, Fabien, definitely AI regulation is a burning issue today. Can you say a word on how at Air Liquide you address this topic and how you took the regulation as a priority topic to develop your use cases?
Okay, so thank you, and first of all, thank you for inviting me to this panel session. Maybe just before we move to the regulation, the key topic for us is to have trust in AI systems. So maybe just to come back on this notion. So what is an AI system? These are the digital or physical systems that incorporate AI and that will be either put in production in front of our customers, patients, or workers. So I'm myself working in Air Liquide. We are a leader in the gas industry. So we have 2 million customers, 2 million patients, and we deal with a lot of industrial topics. If I come back to the AI systems, we have already deployed AI systems for years with operational research. And now what we see is that we have more and more data-based AI systems. It may be a recommender system in the website. It may be a planning system for dispatchers or operational control. It may be an embedded system through our bulk systems, our cylinders. And all these systems, they will incorporate AI. And we have to have trust, of course, in that for safety reasons, for business reasons. And all that we have to do was done today without a clear regulation. So what we want to do is to leverage regulation to reinforce what we were already doing. So we were already working, of course, on some topics that are related to those systems. There are different types of criticity, different types of support and deployment on the deployment. And what has been done through the AI regulation is to give a frame and to give a framework to that. So the AI Act regulation, for example, is there to manage through risk, on a risk-based approach, the type of critical systems. So if you look at the AI Act, the most critical ones are tackling societal risk, like social score, things like that. And then we have safety critical systems for application, another one that are less critical and that will be managed differently. So in Air Liquide, we will, of course, leverage this approach to accelerate on the way we want to deploy AI.
Thank you. Rodolphe, in the automotive industry, definitely emergence of AI raises a new complexity. Could you say a word on how it is specific and how you address trustworthy AI?
In automotive industry, of course, when you think AI, you think autonomous car, intelligent car, driving assistance. Of course, it does exist, but we also apply, exactly like in Air Liquide or in Safran, AI for to optimize the process and the efficiency of our engineering and or for supplying. And I would say that the specific problem that the AI can raise in terms of safety, of trustworthy, of course, for our co-workers, we need to trust in the AI tools that we use. But of course, as soon as the AI takes control of the car in any way, you need to be confident. And then for us, when the regulation arrived, we tested if everything we've developed before this regulation, you have the very famous autonomous emergency braking when the car brakes for you because it detects something. We implemented this function based on AI much before the AI Act and the regulation on AI. And then when the regulation on AI pops up, when we tested our functions through this filter, we saw that we are almost ready to it because we applied plenty of procedures to validate such complex functions. And then the AI Act is just a way to clarify things that we were already doing without knowing that we were doing regulation, AI software regulation.
Daniel, so at Safran, definitely Aeronautics program lasts for decades. It's a long-term programs and vision, and you rely on a vast ecosystem of partner technology. In your context, can you say a word on how you organize your initiative and how AI trust is addressed?
Yes, as you said, in fact, in aeronautics, program takes years, 10 years, 20 years. If you want to develop new materials, for example, for engines, it takes more than 20 years for the single concept, for the first concept to the final capability, manufacturing capabilities. So regarding this long cycle are not very suitable for new technologies, especially in digital, so we have to anticipate a lot. That's why we try to push AI issues inside the main long-term European program, like Clean Aviation, for example, because this kind of huge program are very useful to leverage, in fact, coordination and cooperation between all the actors of the domain. And also during, let's say, the COVID crisis, we had a very strong support from the French Délégation Générale à l'Aviation Civile. And in this Plan de Relance program, in fact, several R&D programs were dedicated to AI issues for aeronautics. And this program were a very good opportunity also to embark SMEs and startups and techno providers in these challenges. And all these programs, long-term programs and more, let's say, short-term programs, help us to validate the potential of AI in our product, and also, but also, as Rodolphe said just before, in our process, in design, in manufacturing, in services. It's very important for aeronautics industry. And it helps us also to boost technology development. We can say also that every main actors have their own innovation directorate or even venture capital means. We can activate this kind of way to promote innovation and new technology, including AI. Regarding trustworthy AI, as you know, in aeronautics, we have a very long and strong culture of regulation in order to ensure the safety of flight, of passengers, of crews. This is really the main issue for us. And so we try to analyze the question of the trustworthy AI just as what we have to change to the current, let's say, corpus of regulation we already have. We try to identify what we need to do to change the delta we have to change in these regulations. And in this, to do this, in fact, very, very early, European Union gives the responsibility of applying AI to the European Union Aeronautic Safety Agency, EASA. And so EASA published in 2020 its first AI strategy to mobilize, in fact, all the community around this question. And that's why they propose, let's say, recommendations. They collect proposals and so on and so on. And they were really, and they are still today, very important actors in the mobilization of all the community around trustworthy AI.
Thank you. Now, if we start to think about how concretely this topic of trustworthy AI is applied in your companies, can you say a word, Fabien, on how it concretely impacts your team and how you organize maybe such a work?
Yes, so as we said, and I think you've all understood, it's still an emerging topic. So we are, of course, working on that. And as Rodolphe said, we used to work on that without knowing it. So, I mean, building on trust and adoption is done through let's say, more classical skills like design, user research, fit for purpose, and the digital products. Then we developed it in an ecosystem, new technobricks, new methodologies. So we did it in France through a program called Confiance.ai, in which we have worked through the robust transverse methodology on how to tackle, let's say, any type of system. So we use system engineering approach to define what to do in order at least to be compliant with the emerging regulation. So be able to demonstrate transparency, robustness, explainability, again, on other type of features. So we know what to do. So we have made this transversal methodology available, by the way, in open source. And we have developed also specific technobricks that we incorporate in our digital pipeline. So we have additional tools that are put, for example, in the MLOps processes, so that we are able now to manage these different features and to try to test, again, the robustness, explainability of the AI that we will put in production. So that's the first answers, methodology and processes. And of course, what we have to do now, and we have worked through an AI governance. So we have a classical data governance, which is still a long way for a lot of companies. So in AIR LIQUIDE, we've started it a few years ago, but we are still deploying it. We have now started to work on AI governance. And AI governance will be first to make sure that we are compliant with at least the AI Act regulation. So we are organizing specific reporting, and we start with the most critical systems. And for the ones that are not critical, on which we do not have to be in this compliance mode, we will also work through them, because we think this will bring value on the quality and the robustness of those systems, even for internal purposes. So in very brief, in a nutshell, what we did, we worked on this transverse methodology. We have been working on these technobricks. It's still ongoing, and this was on Confiance.ai. And we are working now on the internal processes to make sure that we are able to leverage it at scale. And if just I may, the Confiance.ai program was a very strong French program that will continue through a foundation, Confiance.ai Foundation, maybe another naming. So just keep posted on that. Which was very, and my colleagues will also maybe testify on that. That was very helpful to work on for industrial systems on the way to implement methodology. And we did this effort because we have more or less the same needs, even if, of course, we work on very different systems.
Thank you. And Daniel, you want to say a word concretely at Safran?
Yes, in fact, to promote this culture of trustworthy AI, I think the good way is just to promote good practice and useful tools. In fact, the good point with trustworthy AI tools and methods is that it helps you to design better AI, in fact. So there is many ways to select an AI architectures, to build databases, to train systems, but some are better than others. And we try to demonstrate that all these tools developed in Confiance.ai or in other program, in fact, help engineers to develop better product in terms of AI. And the second point also is that it helps us a lot to well understand the performance, the real performances of the systems. And it's very important because without a good method to evaluate performances, you are not able to benchmark systems, you are not able to compare different versions of the same algorithm, and so on and so on. And so the idea is at the end, all these tools, in fact, are here to help you, and it's not a constraint, in fact, for developers, for engineers. This is a good point. And we try to really collect testimonies of users all inside the Safran Group to promote this good practice, in fact. And the other point also is that we think about how to integrate, in fact, AI, trustworthy AI topics inside our technical audit management. to be sure that when it's needed, in fact, the question of trustworthy AI will be addressed by the teams at a good level of in TRL grid.
And Rodolphe, maybe at Renault, you can say a word on how you organize your teams or project to address trustworthy.
Yes, well, as it has been said before, we integrate the tools that we are developing in this project, Confiance.ai, and we integrate it in the process we have already to develop. We didn't wait this regulation, any other concern, to have a methodology. You know, in a way, we have what we call software engineering before. So now we have to integrate this AI engineering. So it's a new way to develop AI in a proper way, to fit the expectation, the requirements in terms of safety, for instance. And at AI, at Renault, we have a team. We have, of course, local teams developing a proof of concept with using AI, and we have a centralized center of excellence who is in charge of developing industrial application based on AI components. And this team is integrating the best practices, and in particular, some components coming from the Confiance.ai. It means components to validate the robustness of a software, and that is pretty important. What we usually, when you have before, when we had an AI system to be validated, for instance, for the car, we put it in the car and then we drove. And we drove millions of kilometers to validate. The idea of having these tools is maybe we could make less kilometers to validate an AI system, because in the paper, in the office, we can already validate the robustness and the completeness of the data, the quality of the data, the absence of bias in the data we use. And with this, we can develop faster and we can validate faster and in a cheaper way our AI system. That's why at Renault, we have tried to integrate these new tools, this new AI engineering in our process, in our development process.
Okay, very clear. So we definitely understand how concrete it is in your business, and we, I guess, invite all of you to get information on Confiance.ai. Very interesting initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.